Hey, what's up, yo? It's Noga2 here with a new comic haul. Hope everyone is doing well and life is getting back to normal post pandemic. Um, I've still been buying comics and bagging, and these next few books are comics that I have purchased online or at dollar bins and a recent Memorial Day garage sale. So let's just get started. First of all, I want to thank everyone who has taken their time, as always, for watching my videos and posting a comment. I appreciate it. This first book here is Something is Killing the Children. It's a store exclusive for Golden Apple and Frankie's Comics. This is the trade and the Virgin variant. Uh, I first heard about this book because I loosely follow Adam Hughes and a few other comic celebrities on Twitter. Adam will often post artwork of future comics that will be available for FOC. And a lot of times, store exclusives are not in um, my usual online comic retailer. So this was again Frankie's Comics and Golden Apple. So that means the print run should be, if the store exclusive variants follow the rules. I'm not sure if Boom is the same as DC and Marvel, but it should be about 3,000 copies, all inclusive, meaning 1,500 for the trade, or actually I think it's 2,000 for the trade variant, and then the trade cover, and then 1,000 for the Virgin variant, or whatever variant they do, whether it's the bloody variant or what have you. Sometimes it's 4,000, or no, 3,000 still, 1,500 for the trade, 1,000 for the Virgin, and then there may be some other color print variant that's 500. Um, to give it a total of 3,000 print run. So if that follows suits for Boom Studios when they do their store exclusives, then there should be approximately 6,000 copies of this comic. And pre-order, I think, was only $25 for both covers. And so I did purchase 2 copies of each. Um, right after this got released by or tweeted by Adam Hughes. I'm not active on Twitter. I don't post any tweets, but I will follow a few celebrities and a few comic celebrities to see what they have to say, to kind of see what comics might become hot later. The other tweet that Adam had done, and this book did sell out. I think there might be a few copies of this still left online, the trade variant, not the Virgin variant, but is this comic here. Gorgeous cover. It's a homage to himself, Catwoman 51, Harley Quinn number 13, also a Golden Apple and Frankie's Comics exclusive. So if for DC, I know this should follow suit of 3,000 copies of this book, 2,000 for the trade, and then 1,000 for the Virgin variant. Gorgeous copy. This did sell out at both online retailers, Golden Apple and Frankie's Comics. So the words and the numbers scramble up, and Mighty Taco Deceit Plop is rearranged just to Gotham City Police Department. And these numbers here, back in the old days before phones, as kids, you would write numbers or type in numbers in a calculator, and you would put it in the mirror, and they would reverse and say something like 43177. If you hold it upside down in a mirror, it would spell out hell. So 8008735 in the mirror would read out boobless. So I thought that was kind of funny, and plus it's a gorgeous cover. Um, Adam Hughes is my favorite comic cover artist, so I had to order that. I was out of town for work, and I found some more Adam Hughes covers. Harris Comics' Vengeance of Vampirella, which is a very early Adam Hughes cover before he even started using the explanation point for his signature. I don't know when he came up with that. Um, I think this was still in the dollar bin because some people may not have recognized that this was an Adam Hughes cover. Number one, and then number two, it was on the floor in boxes under the table. And usually, I will only browse through a few of the boxes on the floor just because as I get older, it's harder for me to be on my knees and looking through dollar bins and the boxes. And so usually I'll just, scan through a couple of boxes before I leave the store. And it never fails that I'll find some book that I really was looking for $1. And this happens to be the one. Um, at that same store, I picked up Star Wars Legacy #6, Adam Hughes cover. It's the only Legacy single digit comic by Adam Hughes that really does not command any significant money. So $3 is the going rate. It's harder to find these in dollar bins. I have not found a Legacy Star Wars Adam Hughes cover in a dollar bin in years. I couldn't remember if I had this or not, but for $3, I decided to pick it up. Now, this next book I got at a Memorial Day sale. I've been going to these two guys who collect comic themselves, and they've been having garage sale together on the same weekend for probably 6 or 7 years. Memorial Day and Labor Day weekend. They're probably about a mile apart, and they have a lot of books to sell. And the one gentleman who's older, his comics are unorganized, so it is like a treasure hunt. You're just going through bins. Usually they're $1 each. He has pricier books. He bought a collection where there's a bunch of CGC books, and then individually priced books, and then usually everything else is $1. Well, this sell, he had probably about 50 boxes of 50-cent books, and then he had probably 10 to 12 boxes of long boxes of dollar books, and then everything else was kind of a mixture. And so this was in the 50-cent bin, again, thinking they were going to be $1. This is New Titans, number 93, which has the pinup of Stargirl by Adam Hughes in it, which is really the only Adam Hughes work in this book. And I couldn't recall if I had this book or not. So when I saw that for $1, I was like happy to find and either add that copy to my collection or add another copy to my collection. So for 50 cents. But then, the gentleman that sells these books, the ones that are unorganized, there's kind of it's not exactly the picture that's in the pinup that's in the book here, Starfire. But, I've been going for a number of years. And so a lot of times he will give me, for customers that have been back over and over, he gives them a discount. He kind of looks at how many books you have, and he says, how about this price? So I had a short box, probably 3/4 of the way full. I shouldn't say 3/4, probably more than half full. Let's put it that way. More than half full. He looked at it and say, how about $20? So for $20, with the number of books that I found, which I'll show later in this video or next one, this copy actually cost me about 20 cents. So 20 to 25 cents, give or take. So definitely a great pickup. I was at a local ACLS, or not ACLS, local LCS out of town, about an hour away, and they had Alice Ever After. Wasn't sure if I had this book on order or not, but as an Adam Hughes cover variant for #2 by Boom Studios. At this same store, over the years, I've been trying to find and complete my run of Adam Hughes on Wonder Woman. I do have the complete Catwoman run. But it's harder to find those in dollar bins. I've yet to find a mint copy in a dollar bin anymore, probably in the last 3 or 4 years. But this is Wonder Woman #140, Adam Hughes cover. This was $8, but this is near mint. I mean, this is a solid 9.6. I usually don't say my copies are 9.8 because I think CGC is inconsistent with their grade between 9.6 and 9.8. I think a lot of people have the same experience, but this was there's no spine ticks. The corners are sharp. And so for $8, I thought that was reasonable. 165, also $8. Another gorgeous cover. 166 and 167. I wasn't sure if I had this copy or not, but because the Titans were on there, I wasn't sure in this high of a grade if that would still be there when I went back. So I decided to go ahead and pick that one up. I didn't have my list of which books I had and didn't have, so there's a couple of others that I realize now that I did not have. And if they're still there, they're all $8. If they're still there when I go back, I'll probably buy those too, because again, they were all in very high grade. Was out of town for work, and I came across these 2 copies in dollar bins. I have these. I have multiple copies of these, actually. Catwoman #76 and Catwoman #75. Now, they were not bagged. They were loosies, and there's some kind of warping going on with these 2 issues. There's no water stain, but it looks like there was moisture, so the copies are a little warped. But I think they can all be pressed out, and pressed out, they would be a near mint copy, near mint minus, because there's no spine ticks, and the cover still has all its gloss, and the corners are sharp. But for $1 each, finding Adam Hughes Catwoman or Adam Hughes Wonder Woman in dollar bins, at least for me, is difficult to find. So for $1, I thought I'd pick them up. I also got this for $1. I probably have 4 or 5 copies of that, but I wouldn't leave that for $1. Tomb Raider Journeys, Adam Hughes, early Adam Hughes. I got this for I want to say $2 at a local LCS. It's an early Adam Hughes X-Men, the early years. He had another copy, but it was beat up, or I shouldn't say beat up. It was, fine to VF at best, and it wasn't a great looking cover. Not all of the X-Men early years by Adam Hughes are good covers. And so I didn't want to buy it even for $2 or $3 or whatever it was, because these you can sometimes still find in dollar bins. I found several of these before in dollar bins. The next 4 issues are eBay purchases. So I bidded on these, and I did pay up a little bit for them. And mainly because I was bidding from the same buyer 4 issues. And this is Tomb Raider #41, Adam Hughes, and it is a unauthenticated signature by Adam Hughes. So I bidded on these 4. As I started bidding for 1, the postage was like maybe $6 or $7. and he combined shipping. So I didn't want to just buy one comic, so I ended up bidding to get four. And I think all in, I paid probably about $50 with postage. So probably $12.50 a book. 41, 43 with this signature. 48, which is a nice cover by Adam Hughes, and then 49. So when I won the auction, the seller, I texted him and asked him if he had any photos of Adam Hughes signing this book, and he said no, he didn't. Unfortunately, when he had bought these books, he was at a convention in 2014 and got Adam to sign these. Probably before Adam Hughes really blew up and got popular. And so he didn't have the foresight or didn't have anyone with him to take a picture, or even possibly he didn't have a phone that took pictures at that time. So he didn't have any of these. So from his personal account, he says these were signed in 2014 by Adam Hughes. The copies are near mint to near mint minus. I think this one has a small spine tick right there. But really happy to have them, even though the signature is not authenticated. I'll take the guy's word on it. I mean, I really just wanted the comic, and the signature is is it a plus because it's not authenticated? Probably. I'll take his word for it. Before signatures got really popular, I've got a number of books that have been signed from Wizard World conventions where they weren't authenticated. And it's funny as they used to do, because they didn't have the following that they have now, the artist does. And I've got a number of backing boards where the artists are just sitting there, they don't have anyone hammering at them for the signature. And so they did little sketches on the back of the backing boards. And I was like, yeah, what a waste of time. And now those are, you have to pay for those. So I've got a couple somewhere on a comic by John Romita Jr., and then I've got one by Jerry Ordway. I've got a couple others I can't remember now, but it's kind of funny that they used to just, because they didn't have any fans, standing in line for autographs, they would just do signatures for you. That day is long gone, I think. And then at an LCS out of town this has been at that shop for easily over a year, and I've passed it up because it was $3.99. It's an ash can. It was a free comic giveaway advertisement. It's like maybe 7 or 8 pages, and it's a flip book. Adam Hughes barbed wire variant cover. I have probably 2 or 3 copies of the comic, and I decided I would just pick it up since it was still there before it goes away. Glad to have picked it up though. At that same store, I picked up a couple of are they hot? Maybe. I don't know. Madame Xanadu number 6. The I think it's John Quilty cover. Now, when I looked this up online, they say that this is a variant, but when you look at the numbering here, it doesn't appear to be. It's 611, which usually means it's the first cover, but every listing says it's a variant cover because there is a second cover to this. This book does, command a little money because Def is on here with Madame Xanadu. But for $1, I figure, I'd pick it up. And then they have, this is number 5. Also, great looking cover, by the way. I love the color scheme and the kind of old, what was that, 18th century attire. And at that same store, Batman Beyond the White Knight was still on the rack for cover price. This sold out initially when it was released. Its first appearance of Batman Beyond in the Sean Murphy world universe, and so I had a copy already, but it was limited when I ordered it to one copy per customer, and so I did decide to pick up another one. Don't know if it, when it came out, it was already going for $15. Not sure if it still commands that price. But for cover price, I decided to pick up another copy. Um, some more dollar bin finds. This is the second appearance of Elixir New Mutants number 6. That's 6. Yeah, 6. John Middleton cover art. Now 1 through 6 of New Mutants. This volume, I think it's maybe volume 2 or 3. 1 through 6 have lots of first appearances, and they do go for a little bit of money. So if you see them, I would pick them up. I found the entire first 6 issues of New Mutants at the garage sale last weekend, Memorial Day weekend, that I'll show later. I don't know where they are right now. Supergirl number 34, Josh Middleton cover. I think I need one more issue in the Josh Middleton run for the covers. I got that for $1. And then also at the same store, these were cover price still. These were the last 2 issues of Punisher number 1, the Alex Ross timeless cover variant. I think all those timeless cover variants, if you hold on to them, they will. I wonder if this helps the glare. Maybe, yeah. They will start to gain some value. Some of the key figures like Punisher, the Hulk, Vision, Spider-Man. Now, the next few books I got are the different LCS. And, here's the dollar book. Well, I'll show that with the Jenny Frison. I got this. I'd never seen this before. J. Scott Campbell, Wolverine Savage, number one of a one shot. Never had seen this cover before. Didn't know it existed. It was $3.99, which is cover price. Which, this was probably a highly printed book, and I didn't look it up, and pretty much that's what it goes for, $3.99. I'm not sure if you would find that in a dollar bin. Maybe someone would, but because it was J. Scott Campbell, I decided to buy that. Got this in a dollar bin. This is the first appearance of Hector Bautista, who gets the time gemstone in this book. Infinity Wars number 1 variant, Stan Lee tribute. Now, this book does go for a little bit of money. If you look it up, I'm not sure if there's a whole lot of more significance to that. And then this was $1. The Jenny Frison Battlestar Galactica 6, number 2 issue, early Jenny Frison work. Great looking cover with number 6. And if you've never watched this series, Battlestar Galactica is a great freaking series. Frack, I think is what they used the word in the TV, because it was regular TV, so they didn't use curse words. So they would use, I think it was frack or frick. Frack in the in the TV show instead of saying the normal word. Now at this same LCS, I got some early Jenny Frison Red Sonjas. Now, I've been looking for Jenny Frison Red Sonja in dollar bins and even in regular back issues, and cannot find them for cheap. I've probably found 2 copies at like cover price. Now, this book here is the more pricier. It's probably the highest price of the Jenny Frison runs on Red Sonja. I did pay $20 for this book. They had that for a bit, and it wasn't on their wall, but it was in a box that was for wall books when they had space to put it on there. So I think that's the only reason why it was still there. I've been trying to hold out to get it on Free Comic Book Day because the store does sales, and I usually go not for the free comics but for the sales. But I wasn't able to make it up to this particular shop. It's about an hour away, and so I had said to myself, if it was still there, I would pay the $20. And so I got this book for $20, and he probably had 10 issues of the Red Sonjas of Jenny Frison. They were all either 15 or this one was the highest price, $20. Now, I got that. It's a beautiful cover, but I actually like this cover better. This is number 14 with the red and the flowers and the blue. I personally think that this cover is better than that cover, even though this one does command more money. This was $15. Both of the comics are in near mint condition, easily 9.4, 9.6. Beautiful covers by Jenny Frison. Love this cover here. I think it's just the color use on this cover that makes it more appealing to me. Also at this store, this store again is about an hour away from me, and it is probably the best LCS in my area that still has a significant amount of early bronze and silver age books at a reasonable price. The store owner and his main employee are very educated in comics, and they know their books, and really pop culture for that matter, in relation to comics. And so, it's you're not going to get a lot of stealth buys at this store, but they do price their comics very fairly. And so this was Marvel Presents Bloodstone, number 1, first appearance of the Bloodstone. Kind of a spec book for people. This is actually my third copy I've bought from this store, and every time I go, they replenish stock in their boxes. They have lots of boxes to replenish. He has one main employee that goes around and puts comics back in the boxes, and I bought the previous 2 copies, and then this copy here was listed at $9, and it was 25% off. A lot of their back issues, they'll have 25 and even 50% off on some of them. But there's a water damage here at the bottom, which I didn't know when I bought the bag because it's just in a regular poly bag. Looks great in a Mylar. And that's the only really main flaw with this copy. Otherwise, it's VF. The pages are still pretty off-white to white. The back is pretty clean other than this water damage here. But that could be pressed out if I want it, I guess. But I don't send books off for cleaning and pressing. So, but I'm glad to have it. And I paid 25% off, $9. So about what, $6.75 for that comic? Is that about right? Yeah, I think that's about right. Then I got this, which is a beautiful copy of Submariner number 51, which is the second appearance of Namorita. Beautiful red cover. It's in solid condition, too, for an early bronze, other than the staples being not quite on the spine, which was a common thing back then. And I paid 25% off the price of $7. So that makes that what? 70, 40. $6.25 roughly. So I thought that was a great deal for that copy for the second appearance of Namorita. Then I got this, which I've been looking for a while, and he's never had that in the bin before because I look for this book all the time. This is Silver Age Sergeant Fury and the Howling Commandos, number 27, which is the origin of how he got his eye patch, where his eye gets taken out by a grenade and shrapnel. This is a very solid copy. Corners are sharp, off-white, color pages. The spine has a couple of spine ticks. This is a font. It has that great date stamp there, December, what was that, 1968. This was $13 with 25% off, so roughly $9.75. I think $9.75. That math right? Yeah, about $9.75. And so in this condition, I mean, this isn't an expensive book. Don't get me wrong. This is not a high price book. It's probably a $25 book in this price, in this condition. But it's hard to find in the wild. And so I was not going to leave that there. That's a great cover, great copy. Same for this book here. He put out a bunch of Silver Age Fantastic Four, which beautiful copies. Now this was Fantastic Four number 59. Beautiful cover, beautiful colors, off-white pages. Staples are still firmly attached. This was $12. Great cover for Jack Kirby. Now this comic here, I've talked about not this comic, but this comic itself, Fantastic Four number 83. I have the Marvel Comics Presents reprint of this comic, and I talked about it a few videos ago how the splash page of this comic is an iconic cover, and I still have this from the previous video. This is the splash page on this comic when you open it up. And the reason why I show this is because Alex Ross did a number 1 in 200, 1 in 500 variant, or 1 in 50 and 1 in 200 variant, where he added Sue Storm in this. But basically, it's this image. Johnny Storm, with just his hands on flame, giving this fire out. Great cover. I just remember this book, the reprint, having that and having this book at some point, which I don't know where the original went, but didn't have it anymore in my collection. Probably traded it in a swap meet with kids on the street. But loving this splash page. I've traced the splash page and colored it myself, and just a comic that 50 years ago, this image is seared into my brain, where it's one of my favorite, splash pages by Jack Kirby, for whatever reason. And to have this comic back in my collection, also $12, very still sharp cover, little cover dings, but nothing terrible. Corners are still very sharp. Edges are sharp, spine, staples are still firmly attached, off-white pages. And so, I thought $12, that's not bad for that book. And then as I started thinking about it and talking to the employee, we started talking. He said, yeah, a lot of people will ask for a lot of money for the Fantastic Four in the 80s, but Fantastic Four, when they got into the 80s, because there's, obviously the earlier books, 46, 52, where they introduced Black Panther, the Inhumans, Black Bolt, etc. Those books are pricey because of the first appearance and the significance of those characters. But Fantastic Four at this time was one of Marvel's top-selling comics. So Spider-Man, the Hulk, and Fantastic Four, again, top-selling books. And their print run were in the 100,000, 115, 120,000 for that comic. And that's a big print run. And the reason why it's hard to find these in high grade is because the paper was so poor. I mean, it's brittle, it ages, it yellows. Kids, comics didn't have the collectability they do now, and people just didn't take care of their comics. And so, there's a lot of these out there, but to find them in higher grade is the issue. And since this doesn't really have any significant first appearances, $12 is about right. So just kind of keep that in mind when you're looking for these Silver Age Fantastic Four. Online, people ask for, crazy money for what they're actually really worth. And this store, I really appreciate that they really price fairly. They use Overstreet, and because of their knowledge, they price fairly for collectors, not you know speculators that are flipping books. And the same goes for this one here. Now, this one did cost me a little bit more. This is Fantastic Four number 84. Again, nothing really majorly significant about it, but it does have Doctor Doom on the cover. And there's this notorious subscription crease for, back then comics, kids were getting comics in the mail, and the postman just would bend them over, and I hated that. I have some 60-cent cover price comics from, was that Bronze or Copper Age, that I got in the mail, and I hated when they did that to my comics. But getting your parent to take you to an LCS that's 40 minutes away just wasn't happening for me. And so this book was $34. The pages are still off white. Again, same thing, firmly attached staples. And what happened was he had a CGC graded copy, 9.0, that he wanted, I think, $275 for. And, I'm looking at it, I'm like, yeah, that's, that seems like not a bad price, And I don't really care that much about CGC for certain books, especially if they're not key books, which this really is not, other than Doctor Doom on the cover. Iconic cover, by the way. But this was $34, and it is a VF, easy VF. Easily, minus a subscription crease, I would say this is a 7.5 or an 8. With a press, which, I don't press my comics, but with a press, it could probably go up even to an 8 to 8.5. But $34 for this copy versus $275 for a graded 9.0. I thought it was a no-brainer to just buy the $34 copy. It's a beautiful cover, beautiful copy also. Man, we're at 37 minutes. So I think I'm going to leave it there with that iconic cover of Fantastic Four, and we'll post another video with the next batch of comics. So thanks for watching. Peace out. Hope everyone has a great day. Thanks.